Evening peeps, evening, welcome back to the channel. So I've just got to remember to start my stream a little bit later because I seem to be missing the start of my videos. Alright, there is like a 30-second delay between when I press go and when I can actually start doing any videos or changing any screens, because it just screws me up. But we're back tonight, round 6 of the Super-Formula League with the P1 boys. If you fancy getting yourself involved, get yourself over to Facebook, click the like buttons, go find P1 Race Community, click all the like buttons, all that sort of stuff. Get yourself in the chats and find out what's going on in terms of racing and get yourself involved. So we're back with round 6 tonight. It is a full 50-minute enduro. We've got a 10-minute qualifier coming up, I think. We can have a look at that in a second. But it is live from Interlagos for a full 50 minutes here at Interlagos. I'll say it again. So there is set up then, 10-minute qualifying, 50-minute race. Fuel wear is at times 3, tyre wear, or fuel depletion is at times 3, tyre wear is times 5. The weather is set in the afternoon and it's SO1, whatever that means, and they have to use softs and mediums throughout this race. The settings are, they've got bop on, brake balance and downforce adjustments are available. Corner cutting penalties are on light, but the pit lane penalty is a great big kick in the goolies and it's a 3-second penalty for that one. So don't be doing that. And that's just on the exit of the pits. If you coming out of the pits and you miss the white line, if you cross that white line before it ends, it's a 3-second penalty. I know, horrible. Right, individual points then so far. Round 6. We've got one more round next week at Catalonia, but up until tonight, Mocking Weeks is leading the way with 120 points. Skippy is behind him in second with 98 points. Tyre Slayer's in third with 87 points. Rob S in fourth with 68 points. We've got Manny in fifth with 67 points. We've got Captain Pugwash in sixth with 56 points. Did I say Manny in fifth or eighth? It's fifth. Captain Pugwash in sixth with 56 points. Nipping at his heels though is Pilgrim in seventh with 55 points. Again, right behind him, P1 Obi in eighth with 54 points. We've got the Dodger in 10th with 49 points. Ricky J in 8th with 46 points, actually right alongside Mutt 36 on 46 points as well. Marshall 2012 in 9th with 43 points. We've got Dylan in 13th with 42 points. And Footer sitting at the back, unfortunately, with 14th with 22 points. So that's individual points. Team-wise, so Eco Haas is sitting on 169 points up front. Hasketh Penthouse in second with 153. Oh, actually right alongside Jordan as well. Both teams on 153 then, so everything to play for at the last couple of rounds. Fourth place for Williams Cannon, 131 points. Again, two teams, Braun and Aston Martin, both on 107 points for joint fifth. And then McLaren in seventh place with 90 points. So that is points up until now. Merch still available, people. T-shirts and stickers. Hit me up at dartsmoker@googlemail.com if you want any of those. Just let me know the mic's coming through all right. I've tried a little thing to try and maybe stop the echoing. Just I can see it showing up, so just have to let me know what it sounds like, people. Right, into the lobby then. Sound on so I don't forget. Have a quick look. Let's see who we've got in here. Dylan, Mockin, Skippy, Manny, Pilgrim. We've got Pugwash, Dodger, Mutt 36, we've got Obi, Marshall and Tyre Slayer. 11 drivers racing tonight then, qualifying already underway. I can imagine they're already a couple of laps into this one. Nearly 4 minutes into qualifying it is. Dylan currently on pole by almost a second. 1:15.2 on the clock for him. Mocking Weeks, like I say, almost a second down. 1:16.1 is his fastest. Skippy in third with 116.8. Manny in fourth currently with a 117.0. I assume everybody's going to be on the soft tyres for qualifying. Pilgrim in the pits getting his tyres changed. He's currently sitting in fifth. Captain Pugwash has got a 117.5 on the board. He's sitting in sixth. Dodger in seventh with a 119.4. 36 in eighth. He's got a 119.9 for him. Marshall, oh, he's got a penalty. He's only got a 105.5 at the minute, so only an outlap on the board, and a penalty to get rid of for Marshall. Adobe one. I saw that on a meme the other day. I thought it was quite amusing. Adobe one, Kenobi. 124.1 for Adobe. He's currently sitting in 10th, and Tyre Slayer in 11th. Again, no hot lap on the board yet from him. It is, oh, well, we just catch Dylan off track. So halfway through qualifying then, Dylan, almost a second up the road. The Super-Formula's catching him out. It gets reset to track as well. I mean, this lap was already thrown in the bin, but that just trebles the chances of it being a slow lap. Mocking Weeks finds some time at 1:15.394, brings himself below 2/10 from Dylan's time. Still going fast as well. Slightly worn tyres now in this qualifying session. Where's this next time in line? Oh, it's miles away, a few corners away yet for Mocking. Can find some time here. Again, might be difficult on those semi-worn tyres, but you never know. Coming up towards this next time in line now then. Oh, he's a little bit quicker than his fastest, but that's not enough to stick him on pole for the minute. Depends what he can do up this final straight now towards the start-finish line. All of that track to keep the power on for Mocking. And it's not quick enough for a pole lap, but it has gone quicker for himself. He was on a 1:15.394, he's on a 1:15.282, so he has found a little bit of time. Marshall moves up, he's dropped himself into third on the grid, 1:16.5 for him. Tyre Slayer now fourth, 1:16.7. So we caught up with him, and he hadn't put a hot lap in, but he has now. Skippy then, he's in fifth currently with a 1:16.8. Has got fresh tyres on, but it's not quick enough this time. Manny in sixth then. 17.0 still for him. Not able to go quicker that lap either. Pilgrim in seventh, 1:17.1. Fresh set of boots on for him to play with as well, so we'll have to keep an eye on, see whether he can get any quicker. Pugwash 1:17.5 for him as well. A few drivers just chucking themselves in the pits for a fresh set of boots. 2.5 minutes left of qualifying, so they can get their out lap done and push for a final hot lap. Mutt 36 then, 1:19.7 for 10th, and Obi currently sitting at the back of the pack. Not really been able to put a fast lap in really. 1:36, 1:24, 1:36, 1:35. I think this track's been catching him out somewhere. Dylan then, been in the pits, fresh set of tyres on board for him as well. So an outlap, he's just taking his time on this outlap, doesn't want to put any wear or any more wear on those tyres than he needs to. And then really push on this final lap. Now he's slightly lighter on fuel, and his tyres are in good shape. We managed to find any more time. Oh, miles away from the timing line again for Mocking, unfortunately. Skippy also a little bit slow this lap, so that's this one out of contention for him. Marshall then, let's see what his first sector looks like. He's a second down on the pole sitting lap still. Mockin running slowly. Is he just waiting for this final lap as well, possibly? Comes onto the straight then. We have got a KERS function or an overtake function. You can see that red gauge on your right hand side, slowly depleting while it's red. Mockin Weeks pressing the button then, trying to use as much of that as possible. Just make the cars go a little bit faster. Obviously during this qualifying session, 10 minutes, you want to use as much of it as possible to try and keep the times up. You have to use it sparingly in the race though. Again, you only get that whatever's in the tank. There's no filling that up in a pit stop. So if you run it out, you run it out. Some drivers definitely need it, some drivers don't need it at all. Good to make an overtake, get yourself away or get yourself closer to those drivers in front. So Dylan still out on track then. The 10 minutes goes over now. Did you just put in? You did. Oh no, sorry, no, it was a 1:15, but lap 7. Lap 2 was his fastest, so it is Dylan on pole, and this man can go quicker. He is a little bit down still. It's a good exit out of here. All the boost being used. He's a little bit slower in that final sector, but it's not impossible to be made up down here, depending on what kind of exit he got. And he has. He's snagged pole. 1:15, 1:77 for Mockin Weeks, right at the end there, using as much of his overtake function as he possibly could. That pushes Dylan down into second. Then Skippy, he's found a little bit of time as well, jumped himself back into third. Obi-Wan fourth. He was struggling here, but he sticks a 1:16.4 in for that fourth position. Marshall still out on track, 1:16.5 for him. Can he better that time? Possibly not on these tyres. And he can't, he actually loses a position. Manny comes through at the end of qualifying, steals fourth position off of Obi. 1:16.2 for him, pushes Obi down a position, then pushes Marshall down into 6th. Pilgrim's still in the pits. I think he's got a penalty to serve this week. I'm not sure what it's going to be. Tyre Slayer slots into 8th then. Oh, we missed a couple of drivers. Let's have a look. There we go. Mockin then takes the pole. Dylan 2nd, Skippy 3rd, Manny in 4th. Obi 5th, Marshall 6th, Pilgrim 7th, Tyre Slayer in 8th. Got Captain Bugwash in 9th, Mutt 36 in 10th, and P1 the Dodger in 11th. So, Obi-Wan, I was just going to say, I think we've got a couple of minutes before the race actually kicks off for to allow people to get drinks and set themselves up, you know, go toilet, get all that out of the way before a full 50-minute endurance here. Once the race is underway, there's no opportunity really. So a couple of minutes then. Oh, I'm getting carried away. Let's see, anybody out on track? No, no. Surprised we've not got drivers testing out the medium tyre option. Again, they have to use a soft and a medium throughout this full 50-minute race. Hence why I was expecting drivers to at least attempt a lap or two just in between the break. But no, maybe not. Go then, lobby about to open. There we go. Get let me in, damn it. There we go. Sure. What are we? Where are we? Why are we sitting in the pits? About to start the race. Duped into it. Still nobody out on track. Still nobody opting to give those mediums a run. Okay, something went wrong then. Lobby being reset. Not sure whether we're waiting for grid setup again with Pilgrim grabbing a penalty. He has to be slotted in somewhere. Who was that? Mr. Pugwash. What tyres are you rolling about on? Let's have a look. Oh, he's out on the softs, okay. Again, expecting a couple of drivers to be out on those mediums, really. Oh, there's a few drivers look like they're starting on the mediums. Not opting to put those laps in. That might catch a few drivers out after doing a qualifying session on the softs. And then obviously having to have a real battle at the start to, you know, before drivers slot this way into actual positions. There's going to be a lot of sideways, side-by-side action. Medium tyres could catch them out. Trying to carry the same speed through corners that you were in qualifying might not work. On for tyre slayer, he is opting for a quick practice. Good tyre slayer. Well, all the liveries look pretty good, to be honest. See your feet, Obi. They're not moving though, I don't know how you're driving that car. Manny, Tyre Slayer's teammate, both in the Benson and Hedges Honda. Whoa. Apologies for the camera, it doesn't like going past anything. So those boards that stick out, if the camera goes anywhere near those on the side, just pushes it back into the middle. Watch. Oh. There you go. Camera thinks that the boarding's actually there for some reason and moves its way around it. A couple of practice starts then from Manny. Nobody doing donuts? No? Nobody torpedoing anyone else? Someone's going backwards on track. Let's find you. Who's that pointing the wrong way? That's Manny. Sneaking some practice starts down this long straight. Doesn't look like he's going to get the opportunity then. Right, here we go. 50-minute endurance here at Interlagos. Getting a few drivers opting for that medium tyre for the start. So majority mediums up front except Dylan. Let's see how we get on then. Lights go on. Good start by everybody, no false starts, but can Dylan get that slot up the inside into turn 1 through into turn 2? Already through he goes on that soft tyre. Mocking in second then, nothing he could do with the acceleration of those softs. Manny in third, already big gaps developed actually. Obi in fourth, Marshall fifth. Under pressure a little bit from Skippy. Marshall going defensive though, holds on to that one. Captain Pugwash coming in hot. A little bit wobbly through there, holds on to it. Tyre Slayer then tucks himself in behind. Mutt 36 in 9th, Dodger up into 10th and Pilgrim 11th. That's probably Pilgrim's penalty starting from the back of the pack. So Dylan on the softs has not managed to disappear just yet. Still got Mocking Weeks right behind him. Again, Mocking on a fresh set of mediums, but obviously a fresh set. We've not even finished lap 1 yet. too bad in terms of pace compared to Dylan. Let's see now though. He'll get a little better acceleration out of here. Starts to pull away a little bit. Mockin just trying to use as much of the slipstream as possible at the minute. He doesn't want to use any of that overtake function if he can help it. Under no threat from behind. Already 1.4 seconds back to Manny in third position. There he is, just coming through turn one, being harassed a little bit by Obi. He's got Marshall for company as well. Oh, Obi gets a little wobble on through turn two. Gives Marshall a little look. He's carried a bit more speed. Can he get this done down into turn four? Oh, Marshall's backed off the throttle. He's allowing Obi to keep that through here. Skippy trying to close that gap up. Also on the medium tyre, Tyre Slayer 7th, Captain Pugwash behind him. But 36 just hanging on to that group at the minute. Dodgers a little way back, 2.4 seconds, and Pilgrim slowly closing back up, 2.7 seconds. He was 4+ seconds. Up front though, Dylan and Mockin pretty much neck and neck. Trying to not forget my coffee this week, people. So, let's have a look where we're at. Dylan has used a little bit of his overtake function. Mockin hasn't used any of it yet, so he's still getting a good tow. 0.7, 0.6 of a second behind him. He will lose that tow at some point though with Dylan's faster tyres. Within range though. Manny not been able to close that gap up, actually lost a bit more time. He's now 2.1 seconds back from the top two. Has pulled himself away from Obi a little bit. He's still got Marshall for company though. No positions swapping early on then. Hopefully no commentator's curse, but everyone's kept it on track so far. Dylan then finds a little bit of time through that back part of the circuit. Mockin though, able to just keep it in touch. He is slowly but surely falling out of that slipstream range. Uses a tiny little bit of that overtake function. I just saw that bar flash up red. Brings him a little bit closer again to Dylan. Again, Dylan's already used a little bit of that overtake function himself. And his tyres wearing out a little bit quicker, so he'll be in the pits earlier than Mockin. Interesting to see how the strategies play out tonight, especially between the top two on the different tyres. A lot of the drivers behind these two are on the mediums. Captain Pugwash on the softs. He'll be wanting to use those to the best of their ability early on. Make his way through the field, but it's not working for him at the minute. But 36 in the same predicament, 2.3 seconds down pretty much from that pile in front. So kind of not using these softs to the best of their ability at the minute. Keeping himself out of the clutches of P1 the Dodger. 1.8 seconds ahead of him. He's got a mirror full of Pilgrim. Oh god, there you go, commentator's curse. Just as I say it, Skippy bins it, sticks himself at the back of the pack. 5.6 seconds down as well. Bit of catching up for him to do. Back up front, gap comes down a little bit more. Not expecting Mockin to go for any kind of move on Dylan at present. Again, they have both got different tyres on. They have got to swap to those different tyres. It's entirely up to them how they do it. They can do sort of, you know, half the race. Entirely up to them. 1 stop, 2 stop, but they have to put those two different types of tyre on. So most drivers usually go for a soft, medium, soft, or a soft and then a medium. So we'll see how it plays out. That gap stretches to a second between Dylan and Mockin. He just pulls it back there. Again, he will be using a little bit more of that overtake function if Dylan starts getting away from him. Has taken fastest lap back though, Mockin, 1:17.1. Was previously held by Dylan with a 1:17.3. 0.9 of a second. Mockin not using that overtake function, but look at the gap back to third though, 4.7 seconds. Obi still in fourth. He's closed that gap back up on Manny. He pulled himself away from Marshall as well. Tyre Slayer 1.2 seconds back. Captain Pugwash slowly closing up on him. 0.7 of a second back, maybe a little bit hot into turn 2, but losing time to Tyre Slayer down there. Big chunks of red showing on his tyres in the bottom left. Still have plenty of grip, but they will let go a little bit easier. Matt 36, Mutt 36, being 8th again on that soft tyre. Not looking too bad though, he's not pressed those too hard. Has still got Pilgrim chasing him. Pilgrim gets the hammer down the back end of that thing, lit right up. I was just about to say Pilgrim's actually closing up on Mutt 36, but excuse me, with manoeuvres like that, he's going to just lose him time. He's slowly bringing that back though. Dodger in 10th then, 3.4 seconds back, and Skippy still trying to close the gap up on him, 3.4 back himself. Again, still not a lot of the overtake function used by some of these drivers. Gap up front is starting to stretch open though. Oh, we're going to see Mockin Week use a little bit of his. No, not down there. Seems quite content with just sitting about that far back. This could develop into a bit of a fight here though. Manny, Obi and Marshall, if they're able to close up. Just over half a second between Obi and Manny. Marshall's not that too far back either. Obi has a little lock up, but he has closed the gap up on Manny in front. Just 0.3 of a second, but has allowed Marshall to close up as well. He's now a second back, less that. Manny defending. It's a great drive out of there. Still getting a bit of a toe down here, Obi. Manny is using that overtake function now. It was just lit up. Keeps himself out of the danger zone of Obi behind. I'm sure Obi was probably using a bit of that overtake function as well, as was Marshall behind. This straight to put himself away as well. No, just keeps himself out of that slipstream range. That's all he wants to do. Through turn 4, Obi and Manny not able to close up here then. Marshall is tucked back onto the rear wing of Obi though. That could be a battle coming up. Well within slipstream range. Oh, Obi! I was going to say maybe a slightly defensive line through there, but that's caught him out. Nearly loses his car, but manages to gather that back up. Unfortunately, it's allowed Marshall to get through, and it loses him a lot of time in that chase to Manny in front as well. Tyre Slayer now leading this next little pile. He's got Mutt 36 and Pilgrim pretty close. Probably less than a second between those three. And all be getting a good run up here. Take function being used then by Pilgrim. Closes up on 136. Which way is he going to go? Through he goes then, and then still on the chase for Tyre Slayer in front. Hard on the brakes. Gets himself cleanly in front of Mutt 36, and now chases down Tyre Slayer. 0.4 of a second back at the minute. No overtake function used down here, just using pure slipstream to try and close up on him. 36 falls back a little bit from these two. careful through turn 4. A lot of drivers like to get the hammer on early, but it pushes you out wide. Carry a lot of speed through here in these Super Formulas. Just as long as there's air pushing down on these things, they'll almost go around a corner any speed you want. Almost got to have the power down for it to happen. It's a very, very tight line. You've got a tight rope across. Aero versus traction. Still on board with Pilgrim then, as he still chases down Tyre Slayer. Let's see if he manages to get him on this lap. A little wobble out of the final corner. Overtake function being kicked in now. 0.5 of a second back. Slipstream engaged as well. 0.4 of a second. Tyre Slayer probably using his overtake also. That's why we're not seeing Pilgrim close up as much. Not able to get him that time either. Oh, sorry, gone too far. Let's go and have a quick flick through then. Look, 36 keeps himself involved in that fight. Still less than a second back. Dodger under some serious threat now though. Skippy right behind him. Probably going to go for a move down here into turn 4. Can't see Dodger defending this too hard, to be honest. Backs off a little bit early. Allows Skippy to go through. Skippy is the faster driver of the two, really. Still battling for position, so Dodger didn't have to let him through. No, Captain Pugwash, we've missed him going backwards somewhere. The tyre wear really showing on his car, and that has caught him out somewhere. It puts him all the way to the back of the pack. Nearly 4 seconds behind Dodger as well. Half a tank on fuel on board with 13 minutes in. It'll be interesting to see when people start coming in the pits. Can't see them running a full tank on a set of softs. See that at all. I think that's going to be a detriment to your race if you do that. Back up front then, top two still pretty much neck and neck. Mocking Weeks now used a little bit more of that overtake function than Dylan, but he's kept himself right in the firing line, 0.5 of a second behind him. Soft tyres showing dramatically more tyre wear than the mediums, obviously. When will Dylan decide that enough is enough on those softs? Consistent 117s apart from lap 5. Mocking Weeks as well. Lap 2 is a 118 and lap 7 a 116. Everything else 117s. And look at the gap they've pulled from Manny. That's 8.1 seconds. Ovi's fallen out of that fight as well. The mediums have caught him out somewhere. That's allowed Marshall to get through. Oof, just catch Tyre Slayer getting hold of that thing. He's managed to pick himself up a great big penalty though. He slows down to try and stay out of the way of these drivers, but he's going to come up to the penalty zone. Oh, he's already up to the penalty zone, gone through it. Now trying to get back up to race pace. So he was leading this trio, he's now at the back of this trio. Work to do then for Tyre Slayer. Skippy then cleanly past Dodger. Now on the hunt for those three drivers in front. They are only 3 seconds up the road, so it won't take him long to close that gap up, I don't think. There they are. Captain Pugwash then trying to get himself back involved in this race. Again, loads of tyre wear showing on his graphic on the bottom left. Again, I think it's just caught him out somewhere. Purple sectors for Dylan. He's going to put in a new fastest lap. Let's have a look. It is a 1:16.7. Sorry, it's not. What? Oh no, it's not. Sorry, Mocking Week still holds. It's on the skin of his teeth though. I thought he got that, Dylan, but no. He had managed to pull himself a second gap as well. Mocking's just used a little bit more of that overtake function to keep him in that attacking position. Just keeping the pressure on Dylan. A mistake. Oh, it's all kicked off here as well with that mistake from Manny. Marshall then through to third. Sorry, with the tyre slayer. Marshall through to third. Obi into fourth. Manny into... Oh, no, it was Manny. Apologies. Manny fifth then with that mistake. Chasing him down again. Started from the back, Pilgrim, so not doing too bad. A lot of tyre wear on his car though. Doing a good job to keep that pointing in a straight line really. Oh man, he's just got it wrong. He's lit those rears up, pinned it into the wall. Gets that car back on track, but a long way out of the fight now. A couple of drivers coming up behind him, Skippy and Manny. Sorry, it was Manny that pinned it into the wall. Had to back off while everyone else has come through then. He's only got Dodger and Pugwash behind him and they're pretty close. Captain Pugwash is closed right up on Dodger. Back up front then. Still kicking off here for first. No gaps really developed. Coffee's going to be about cold now, isn't it? Manageable, but not for much longer. I'm sure Dylan's thinking the same thing about his tyres. Marking Weeks keeps him in that range though, 0.7 of a second. Now, when will we see Dylan come in the pits? Is he going to try and run to fuel? Is he going to risk it for a biscuit earlier? Away from that pit entrance. He's going around again then. So we may see one stops throughout the pack. If everyone can make it to the 25-minute mark. Still right there though, Mocking. No mistakes really for Dylan. Just shows him his nose though. Is he thinking about a move now? Is he trying to pressure Dylan into a mistake? He's keeping it right there. Again, different tyre strategies on board for Dylan and Mocking. Dylan's on the soft tyre, showing a fair chunk of wear, especially on that rear right. Mocking Weeks on the medium. Still a fair amount of wear showing on them, but still looking just as grippy as the softs in front. He has used a little bit more of that overtake function, but only a very, very small amount. And that could all swap around when Dylan has to put on the mediums as well. He might be using that overtake function to keep up with Mocking. Just 2 tenths in it between them. Again, Mocking looks like he's thinking about a move here. He's getting himself a lot closer, or keeping himself a lot closer to Dylan. Maybe thinking Dylan's coming in for a pit stop soon. They'll both be coming in for a pit stop soon. Whether Mocking can gain the advantage if Dylan comes in a lap or two earlier than him. Absolute a little wobble there from Dylan. That almost gave Mocking Weeks a look up the inside. Oh, Dylan very lucky to hang on to that. A little bit wide through that corner with the wobble. Mocking Weeks tried to sling one up the inside, but Mocking Weeks was able to get the power down. Onto this start-finish straight then. Mocking still in the danger zone really of Dylan. Again, neither driver in the pits. Looks like everybody is going to go for a one-stop strategy. Marshall stays out. Obi-Wan stays out. Pilgrim, he's got himself through to 5th. Tyres not looking very healthy though. Again, he stays out, so again, looks like everybody's going to do a one stop at the 25-minute mark-ish. 36 stays out, Tyre Slayer stays out, Skippy stays out, Dodger stays out. Manny's at the other end of the circuit. He has got a fresh set of softs on those, so he came in 3 laps ago. Captain Pugwash also been in, so he's took himself on a fresh set of medium tyres. Now then, Manny's got the softs on. Can he make those last pretty much half an hour? He may opt for a second set of softs later on, but I don't think he'll make those last half an hour, not without putting it in the wall, that's for sure. Again, Captain Pugwash, fresh set of mediums on board for him. Back up front then, the top 2 go round again. 0.6 of a second still between them. They are closing up on drivers in front. I don't know who that is. Is it going to be possibly Captain Pugwash? Yes. Still neck and neck, these two. 0.4 of a second in it between them. A little bit of time through there. Pilgrim in the pits this lap then. He's got to get rid of those softs. He'll be jumping with a set of mediums on when he comes out. Mocking then. Still keeping himself in touch with this man, Dylan, leading the race. Again, he managed to get up front through turn 1 due to the different tyre strategy. And that's where he's been ever since. Again, I think Mocking Weeks is quite happy to just sit behind him on the mediums. He's still within that tow range. He's still got plenty of overtake function left for the second stint. "23 minutes gone then. Still top 2 stay out. A couple of drivers have peeled in the pits and dropped these worn out tyres. Bumper to bumper, big gaps developed here as well. Third place for Marshall, 1.7 seconds ahead of Obi. And literally nobody on this start finish straight behind them. Skippy just hitting that. He's in 5th position. Again, he's on the worn mediums. He's got to stop and put a set of softs on at some point. Tyre Slayer and Muck 36 side by side coming at this start finish straight. Both still on worn tyres, set of worn mediums versus worn softs, different strategies between these two as well then. Dodger not stopped yet, he's on a semi-worn set of mediums. Pilgrim's been in, he just comes out on a fresh set of mediums. Manny's had his softs, so he's been in for his change, and Captain Pugwash also been in for his change. So 24 minutes gone. Dylan nearly stretches that time. I think it's just outside of that tow range at the minute for Mocking. Dylan comes in the pits this lap though. Mocking Weeks stays out. Now, what's he going to do? Is he going to run to tyres? Is he going to run to fuel? Nope. He's going to use as much overtake function as possible to gain speed, try and gain the advantage on Dylan for when Mocking Weeks has to come in the pits. It might be at the end of this lap. He might opt to come in then, depends on his lap times, I assume. Dylan then gets released now. Interesting to see who else is around him when he comes out. His way back onto the track in 6th then. Dylan, he is 33.4 seconds down from Mocking. Let's go and see what Mocking is up to. Back onto this start finish straight then. Will he pit now? Doesn't look like he will. He stays wide out of that pit lane and around he goes again. Won't be happy with that though. 118. even with the overtake function being used. Marshall comes in the pits. So Dylan, who's come out on the racing mediums, needs to make those hook up ASAP. When Mocking Weeks comes out of the pits, he'll be on a brand new fresh set of softs, which means he'll be absolutely be able to plant this thing. Let's see what Dylan's up to. He's already made up a position. He's got himself, who's been in, Marshall's been in the pits, so he's been past, got him. He's already on the back of Tyre Slayer. Again, Tyre Slayer yet to stop. Dylan on his fresh set of mediums, looking for a way past. Tyre Slayer hasn't got to give up the position, that's for sure at the minute. Maybe slowing up Dylan a tiny little bit, giving him a little bit of room through there, but not enough to get his way past at the minute for Dylan. Oh, he sweeps around the outside there. Oh, switches to the wrong camera and gets himself past then. Into fourth for Dylan, 34.5 seconds away from this man now who enters the pits. Obi-Wan also into the pits from second. Where is Dylan? Onto this start-finish straight then. Mocking Weeks taking on board fuel. Gets released at the 75 litre mark. Come on, let me look out the side window. Be able to see. Look, that could be Dylan. It's not Dylan, it could be though. So Dylan is, right there, 0.5 of a second behind him. They have come out absolutely neck and neck, these two. And now the race is on to the end then. 22 minutes remaining. Mocking Weeks on a brand new, fresh set of racing softs versus Dylan's 1 or 2 lap old racing mediums. Again, the slower tyre. He has got more of that overtake function to use. Not a great deal. So we'll see, can Mocking Weeks pull away and keep himself out of the danger zone from Dylan. Slowly closing up on Skippy, who is current race leader, but he needs to pit. He's got no fuel on. His tyres are pretty much done and dusted on those mediums. I expect to see him in this lap or the next. He's going next. So Mocking Weeks is going to gain a little bit of a toe off of him. Dylan's using a little bit of his overtake function to keep himself in that slipstream range. But 36 throws himself in the pits now. Dylan loses a bit more time through there. Mocking Weeks tucked right under the rear wing of Skippy. Swings out to the left. Oof, maybe a little bit of contact. That could have been dangerous. Mocking Weeks gets through though. Skippy holds on to second. Dylan falls a little bit further back, 0.9 of a second away from Skippy. 1.7 seconds away from Mocking. Tyre Slayer yet to stop as well. He's sitting in fourth, but that's all going to change when he comes in. Dodger, he's got to stop as well. Marshall's been in. Fresh set of softs on board for him. So he should slot his way into third when the rest of these drivers come in. Obi's just come out of the pits. He's got a fresh set of softs on. He'll be pushing hard on those to try and close that gap up on Marshall. 4.5 seconds back at the minute. Mr. Orange Man, hello. All right. So Obi, yes, will be closing that gap up on Marshall. Oh no, sorry, Marshall's on the soft tyre as well. Apologies. I thought Marshall was on the medium. That could be a good battle between those two then. Might be all down to who's got the overtake function left at the end. Who's that just come in the pits then? Skippy. Dropping those mediums. Dodger also comes in, so the last of the drivers sticking their tyres on then. So that releases Mocking Weeks up to the front of the race. And he's got 3.3 seconds over Dylan. Just over 19 minutes remaining. Is Orange Man Steve or is Orange Man someone else from Holland, maybe. Steve loves ammo. Could be you. Mocking Week still pulling time. Fastest lap as well just then. Lap 23, 1:15.5. So those tyres definitely working in his favour. Dylan. I'm surprised Dylan's not using a lot more of that overtake function. Maybe he's just... he might be losing a bit too much time. I thought he might just be backing off, saving his tyres while Mocking Weeks blows his up. And then use all of his overtake function and as much driving powers as he's possibly got to try and close back up on Mocking. But still 4.2 seconds, 4.3 seconds behind him now. 4.4, it's growing. It's starting to become more and more of a tall order then. Tyre Slayer drops himself in the pit, so he's going to fall down the order. We'll see where he rejoins the track. Marshall goes through to third, then Obi drops himself into fourth. Not able to close the gap up on Marshall in front though. That gap stretches up to 5 seconds. Tyre Slayer tyres on, but still waiting on his fuel to be filled up. Skippy goes through, Pilgrim goes through as well. The drivers coming down this start-finish line, so interesting. He might just get out in front of Mutt. I think he will. Does get out in front of Mutt 36. There is Mutt, the little white blob, just slowly getting slightly bigger on your screen. Whoa, Tyre Slayer goes a bit wide through there though. First lap out on the softs. Just caught him out a little bit. Picks himself up a penalty for the trouble as well. Okay, back up front. All looking good for Mocking Weeks currently. 5.7 seconds lead over Dylan. Dylan might just be quite happy to settle with second position here. He's making no clear efforts to try and close that gap up on Mocking. No use of the overtake function. Wasn't able to stick with him in the slipstream like Mocking did in the first stint to himself. Now he's got a great big handful of work if he's going to try and take that position back. 6.5 seconds. Mocking Weeks is absolutely stomping around here on these softs now then. Big gap back to third, 9 seconds all the way back to Marshall in third. Almost gets that corner wrong. Luckily he's got a big chunk of air between himself and this man. There was 6 seconds. Comes down a little bit with that mistake, but he won't want many more of those, that's for sure. Manny in fifth then, a long way down himself, 8.6 seconds. Skippy another 10.5 back on his fresh set of softs. Pilgrim 2.6 behind him. His medium's got a little bit of wear on now. Tyre Slayer on his fresh set of softs in 8th, 8.2 seconds down. 36, 9th, 2.6 seconds behind Tyre Slayer. Dodger's only 1.8 seconds back though, so not too far. And Captain Pugwash, unfortunately, 9.6 seconds down in 11th at the moment. Mocking Weeks is just putting on a masterclass right now. .6 seconds. 15 minutes left of this endurance here at Interlagos. Oh, we just catch Dylan putting it back on the track. Now, Marshall up the inside of him. Oh no, sorry, wrong corner. I thought that was the final little straight, but Marshall has another little look around the outside. Give me a different camera angle, damn it. Has managed to get his way through there. Marshall into second though, and he's already pulling time over Dylan. Again, Dylan just not making any kind of effort. He's got his overtake function he could be using to keep himself tucked under Marshall's rear wing. Again, just making no real effort to close these gaps up at the minute, Dylan. finally enters the pits then. Set of softs pretty much blown out. Obi then in 4th. Still a long way down from, well, Dylan now. It was Marshall, but 5.3 back from Dylan now. Skippy into 5th. Again, he's on that fresh set of softs. 18.4 seconds down from Obi, so doubtful he'll be able to close that gap back up. It's literally going to be a second a lap, 2 seconds a lap. Nah, that's not happening. Manny gets released now then. Pilgrim's gone through. Tyre Slayer on his softs. Pilgrim just 1.1 back actually. He's almost out of his overtake function though. What's Tyre Slayer saying? He's got half of that left and he's on the soft tyre. Probably able to keep himself ahead of Pilgrim. Dodger sitting in 8th position. And he's got a little bit of company behind Mutt 36 and Manny chasing him down. It's only about a second between those three. Manny in the best position. He's got a big blob of that overtake function and a brand. Oh, Dodger! Oh, he ran wide through there. Managed to keep it on track. Yeah, so Manny on an absolutely brand new, super fresh set of soft tyres. Putting the pressure on Mutt 36 up the inside, then into this final corner. Easily done then for Manny. Mutt 36 pretty much couldn't do anything about it. Captain Pugwash, unfortunately, still 5.5 seconds down. Look at this disgusting amount of lead now, look, for Mocking Weeks. 18.7 seconds. 12 minutes remaining. Marshall into that second, then Dylan still, yeah, just he's not used any more of that overtake function. Just seems quite happy plodding around on his mediums. 2.7 seconds down from Marshall as well. Again, just not making any contentious effort to chase these guys down. Obi-Wan has made a bit of time up on him as well. That's 4.1 seconds. His soft tyres have got a little bit of wear on. He's still got a big chunk of that overtake function to use. He needs to think about that. He might be able to close the gaps up on Dylan. He is taking a couple of tenths out of him here and there. Skippy unfortunately is losing time to Obi, so any kind of attack he was going to have is pretty much in the bin now. Tyre Slayer having a little bit of a lonely race. Dodger then still being harassed by Manny here. Mutt 36 well out of that fight at the minute, but Dodger could be under pressure for this position. Oh, he swings out to the right anyway. He allows Manny to go through. What tyres were you on there, Dodger? Slightly worn set of softs, but allows Manny to go through anyway. Mutt 36 then wants to close back up on the Dodger. 1.6 seconds down at the minute. What's Pilgrim done? Has he been in the pits? No, he's been backwards. Unless he's been in for fuel, I don't know, but it looks like he's been backwards, and he is now behind Captain Pugwash. Well, at least that gives Captain Pugwash 7.7. So who's in front of Pilgrim then? Oh, it's Mocking. There he is. Thought he was closing up on Mr. Pugwash, but no. He's just been overtaken by that man. Marshall then still holding second. He's keeping that gap consistent. 18.4 seconds. Dylan still falling away. 3.7 seconds now. Obi-Wan is closing that gap up on him. 2.5 seconds, 10 minutes remaining. It could be an absolute punch-up for third. Skippy out of the equation. He's got big gaps in front and behind. Almost the same for Tyre Slayer. Got Manny slowly closing up on him, but again, running out of time, running out of laps. 2.5 seconds down at the minute. Same for Dodger. 2.1 down from Manny. Mutt 36 falls back a little bit more as well. 3.2 back from the Dodger now. Captain Pugwash 4.2 back from Mutt, and yeah, Pilgrim another 7.3 down from him. And we're just about to see Mocking Weeks catch up with Mutt 36, are we? Oh no, sorry, Captain Pugwash, I think. Oof, Mocking. Careful. tyre wear starting to show on Mockin's car then. Just got to pay a little bit more attention coming into some of these faster corners. The last thing he wants to do is bin it on these last few laps. Give the win to Marshall, Dillon, anybody else. It's got even faster, 1:14.9 for Mockin. Who's that? Somebody's gone off in the background. Someone's backwards. Who was it? Sorry for the epilepsy. Oh, it was Pilgrim. It was Pilgrim. He's binned it on the grass. Racing mediums. Got a fair chunk of wear on. They've caught him out. Marshall goes through then. Yeah, Pilgrim was at the back of the... Oh, he was near the back. Let's put him right at the back then. Still holding 18 seconds then. Almost 19. He has just flicked over to 19. Pulling a teeny tiny bit of time over Marshall still then. 3.2 back. Obi he's taken another 10th out of Dillon's time, but he's now only got 8 minutes to have a go at him. Gap down to below 2 seconds between himself and Dillon. Just coming up on Pilgrim as well, I think, as he's managed to get it pointing the right direction now. He does rejoin the circuit in the midst of these front runners. That gap is coming down still. Obi now 1.7 seconds behind Dillon. Probably only able to close up through here. Pilgrim keeps himself out of the way through there, allows Dillon to go through. Still 1.7 between himself and Obi. With Obi as he hunts down that third position. Falls a little bit further back from Dillon. Not quite in the toe range of Pilgrim in front either. Maybe a little bit. Starts closing up a little bit on Pilgrim. Takes a couple of tenths out of Dillon's time as well. 7.5 minutes remaining. Half of the race was all about Dillon. Led the way from lights out pretty much. He managed to get in front of Mockin Weeks in turn 1 and led into the pit stops. Mockin Weeks stayed out, did a couple of extra laps on his mediums versus Dillon's softs, and was able to get out in front of Dillon only by half a second. He was then on the faster tyre and just made it look pretty easy really. And now currently holding 18 plus seconds over Marshall. Oh, Obi's made a mistake. Yeah, there you go. Great big 1 second penalty. He's been off circuit somewhere. And he's picked up a penalty for the trouble. So that could be any kind of fight for third out the window, unless there's any kind of mistake from Dillon up front. He's got plenty of life left in his medium, so it's very doubtful he's going to be ending up backwards. Although you never know, super formulas can catch a lot of these drivers out. Marshall looking quite comfortable in second though. This man looking comfortable wherever he is on track. So he's losing a bit of time to Marshall. His lap times are starting to come down a little bit. Sorry, go up a little bit. Just taking his time on his semi-worn softs. Again, we've seen what can happen. Soft tyres can easily catch drivers out here, especially when they're as worn as these are. Comfortable again through there for Mockin. 18.4 seconds still over Marshall. 4.5 minutes remaining. Dillon still 3.8 seconds back from him. Obi-Wan loses a penalty, and unfortunately now 6.6 seconds back from Dillon. Under no threat from this man really. 14.2 seconds back for him. He's got another 14.8 back to Tyre Slayer. Tyre Slayer is being hunted down though by teammate Manny. What are their tyres saying? Slightly more worn on tyre slayers than they are on Manny's, so we'll see. Again, running out of time though, 4 minutes remaining. Dodger holding 8th position at the minute. Nobody behind him, 36, 7.5 seconds back. Captain Pugwash in 10th then, 4.4 seconds back from Mutt. Pilgrim, unfortunately, who's been backwards and sideways and probably upside down at some point, 28.9 seconds down from Pugwash. Sitting at the back of the field at the minute for Pilg. Again, just clean lap after clean lap for Mockin. Here we go. Flags being waved at Mutt 36. Blue flags meaning faster drivers coming or lead drivers coming. Get the hell out of the way. So it hasn't got to sort of pull off the track or anything like that. Just, you know, as and when Mocking Weeks gets right up to him, allow him past. Won't happen here either. Mocking closes right up on him through turn 4 though, heading up towards turn 5. Mutt 36 given the position here, no. Two and a half minutes remaining then. Mocking Weeks still with 18 seconds, even though he's trapped a little bit behind Mutt 36 at this point. Again, he's just got to be careful. He doesn't want to push his way past Mutt 36 in any kind of, you know, offline way. His tyres really showing that tyre wear now. We're hitting the 2 minute remaining mark. Go. Mutt 36 stays wide now. Mocking Weeks to the left of him, up the inside into turn 1. And that's all we ask. Just stay out of the way. Let the faster drivers through. Should see another lap after this one then for Mocking Weeks. One or two of the other drivers as well. Mutt 36 tucks himself into Mocking Weeks slipstream. Again, it won't help him out in terms of the race, but just helps him drive a little bit faster down these straights. Marshall then comfortably in second, again 18 seconds behind Mocking Weeks, but 7.4 seconds ahead of Dylan now. Oh, he has used his overtake function, he's remembered what that button does, alright. Obi-Wan still 4th, but Skippy actually closing up on him. Nope. Nope. Why? Who's that? Has Obi just got past Pilgrim? Oh, it's Captain Pugwash. Ah, okay. So Obi just getting past his teammate. I just saw the back end of a blue car. Assumed it was Pilgrim, but I was lying to myself and you lot, really. Apologies. Didn't mean to. Skippy then 5th, but a long way down from Obi. 11.8 seconds. Tyre Slayer another 16.4 seconds. Manny's not been able to get past him. Oh, Manny might run out of fuel. Manny might run out of fuel. But let me get myself to the front. So 20 seconds left on the race time, and this will become final lap for Mockin. Not everyone's going to see that. A lot of these drivers are going to see the checkered flag. Obi-Wan should get across the line. Skippy might be the first man we see with the checkered flag. And it will be. There is the 50-minute mark then. The final lap flashes up on us. It did do for a very, very brief minute. There it is. So Skippy does take the the first of the positions. 5th then for him. I will get myself back to the front because Mocking Weeks is not that far away. I don't want to miss him crossing the line. Final corner to go then for Mockin. Again, really good race by Mockin. If you've watched any of the series before this, any of the P1 racing before, if Dylan's in the lobby, it's, you know, it's just pretty much a given that he's going to win it. But tonight, Mocking Weeks has stomped it. 18.4 seconds. Marshall just coming around that final corner now. Tyres absolutely battered, pretty much out of fuel as well. again drove well, just wasn't able to close that gap up on Mocking Week. So he takes second. Dylan is going to come home for third. Absolutely out of overtake function for him. Obi's going to take fourth. Oh, he's going to take a bit of the wall with him first. I'm not sure if he was trying to drift this Super Formula car, but they don't like drifting, that's for sure. So Obi takes fourth then, and a little bit more pit wall. Skippy takes fifth. Tyre Slayer takes sixth. We'll have a look at those in a minute. No. Donut. That's what you're meant to be looking at. There you go then. Official results. Mocking Weeks taking that win. Again, really, really good race for Mocking. Dylan on the soft tyres should have literally been gone. Mocking Weeks just managed to play his cards perfectly right. Stuck himself on the medium tyres. Was just able to use enough of that overtake function and the slipstream to keep with him up until the pit stops. And then got himself half a second, literally half a second on the exit of the pit stop over Dylan. And that was it. Just was able to pull away. Dylan just couldn't, or didn't try and fight back really. So yeah, Mocking Weeks ended up taking the win. Dylan unfortunately had a little bit of a mare, so he lost that second position to Marshall. A few drivers sort of having moments, and a couple of drivers off track, not as many as I expected really, with the amount of wear on these tyres, but still some good racing. So Mocking takes the win then. Marshall second, Dylan third, Obi fourth, Skippy fifth, Tyre Slayer sixth, Manny in seventh, Dodger in eighth, Mutt 36 in ninth, Captain Pugwash in 10th, and Pilgrim in 11th. That is results. So what have we got coming up then? Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock we're back with the DSC boys and their Premier League. So it's football teams on the cars, and they score points and hat tricks and stuff. I'm not explaining it. So that's tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Back on Wednesday night as well at 8:30 for the Team Oliver Racing DTM Classics. That's a handful, that is, always sideways. Back on Thursday night as well at 9 o'clock for the Super Formula, sorry, that's wrong, with the P1 boys and their Mazda Challenge. And then back same time, same place on Sunday night for the final round of the Super Formulas, which you've been watching with me tonight. So that is from Catalonia next week. That is the finals of those, and I believe is it the finals of the Mazdas, or we've got another round of those to go? I'm not too sure, but yeah. So tomorrow night 8 o'clock, Wednesday night 8:30, Thursday night 9 o'clock, and Sunday night 9 o'clock. That is what we've got going on. Other than that though, people, I hope you've liked what you've watched. If you have, give it a like, comment, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. But most of all, tell your mates, tell your mums. My name's Dark Smoker. I'm out of here.